And welcome to Monday Night Football, where Soccertown USA comes to you, brought to you by Elliott Media here at the wonderful Matt Gaston Center. We want to thank all of our sponsors who you will see throughout the show and the commercial break, so please pay attention. Well, guys, we are back after
a week. Let's don't skip over the fact that you just nailed that intro.
Well,
perfectly without a single word missing. I know, like the savvy vet.
I've been watching a lot of Sebi Salazar on his
You've been
show
taking notes?
Ion,
well
so
done.
Good.
So.
It shows. That was probably the most clean intro.
But, guys, we're back from a 2-week hiatus.
Dude, it was wild last week, not doing anything, not going to. There were some games last week, but you want to go ahead and hit those games?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go into the OptiLink scoreboard, obviously brought to you by OptiLink. We only had
It's a lightweight scoreboard right here.
Lightweight scoreboard. We had Murray County was the only school playing last week, and they had 2 games. This is on the boys' side. We had the boys playing Coosa on April Fool's Day.
No joke there.
They pulled out a 2-0 win, and then they come around and played on Friday 4-4. And they had a 6-0 win versus Pepperell. So
all right, everybody else be put on notice while you guys are off on spring break doing whatever at the beach. Murray County standing 10 toes on business.
Talking about
while they were behaving on spring break. Let's have that.
Well, they were at least behaving. We don't know what
talking about spring break. Wasn't there a Soccer City Cup matchup that
yes, there was
highly affected by some girl?
I'm not going to get into other people's drama because that's not what I do.
I am
because that's none of my business. But yeah, there was a little bit.
I'm just putting it out there.
Because we're going to talk about that later, right?
That's going to have big ramifications on Soccer City Cup standings.
Yeah. I mean, we'll look at those a little later in the show, but yeah, you'll see those ramifications. And I'm not sure how much of it was due to players not there. I mean, the score is what it is. So.
And really quick, I see you're wearing your CFC
shirt.
Always, I'm an owner.
There was a big matchup. There was a big matchup last week.
In case they haven't heard of it,
the Battle of Chattanooga, as it was called, Chattanooga FC, the true, I guess,
the hometown,
depending on
home club.
Those are my words.
Depending on who you ask, maybe the true Chattanooga team versus the
ones that won the Chattanooga match.
The what are they called?
The Red Wolves.
The Red Wolves. Todd, what do you call them?
What do you call them?
I don't. Who are you talking about?
The team Chattanooga Red Wolves. How do you?
I don't know.
Any names for them? There was a nice flag by the fans that had a interesting.
But the reason we're discussing that had a lot of local implications. You had Omar Hernandez scoring a beautiful set piece.
Absolutely.
So we'll
first to get on the scoreboard too.
Got to feel good for Omar on that one, and just the community.
And see, I was sitting with the Chattanooga FC faithful, and then I just go, "Heck yeah, Omar!" Other stuff.
How'd that work out?
It was great because I was sitting around families who had no clue what was happening.
And really quick, Todd, I see we got a minute left, but you had here some Dalton Baylor.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear that straight from the source.
Yeah, there was. I tell you what, there was a. I don't know. It's rare that I get involved in sideline drama, but I was there for it in the Dalton Baylor game. And I'll tell you, my pro tip to coaches is this. If you're more concerned about what's going on in the stands behind you than what's going on in the field in front of you, your players, you're losing the game.
Say that louder into the camera, Todd.
Yeah. If you're paying more attention to what's going on in the stands behind you and what kids are saying than going on with your kids on the field, you're losing the game, and you've lost the plot already.
Preach it.
And they ended up losing. So, and I don't know if it was, we got 15 seconds here, but I don't know if this was a precursor, but they had the Baylor boys came in through the Dalton stands. They literally walked right through the home crowd, right in front, and then went around. So I don't know if they were trying to,
mind games that ended up backfiring.
All right, but with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we have a special guest that will be on the show today from Dalton State.
Stay with us.
I'm Dr. Michelle Little.
And I'm Dr. Kayla Giubo with Foundation Direct Family Care. We wanted to start a membership-based primary care practice.
But we're doctors, not business people.
I'm Kylie Roy with Builtwell Bank. I listen to their pitch and help them scale from startup to owning their own building.
Builtwell sees the value of small businesses in the community and supports their ingenuity.
Because every business owner doesn't have an MBA, our bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Who's up for some football? That's not football. This is football. And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
That's our part.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. You know, one thing we say is that where Soccer Town USA comes to you, we have somebody who I think embodies the whole Soccer Town vibe. I cannot wait to hear the things we're about to hear, the lessons we're about to get, the stories. But before we go on, let me go ahead and introduce our special guest, Mr. Churui, Mr. Huitanda, a Dalton State legend, Dalton legend. You've done it all. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk for a little while and chop it up.
You mentioned national champion, right? You got that in there?
I better have.
Well, if you didn't, throw it out there again.
National champion, putting Dalton on the national stage right there. You know, we had Coach Safe earlier in the show talking about it from his coach's perspective.
What is that?
Doesn't he have a high school national championship?
Oh, does that?
I got two.
You got two state championships. Was one of them a national?
The college one was a national.
College national, 2 states, UPSL.
That's I know.
That's
so,
a lot.
so in case you guys don't know, that's Juan chirping in from the background. So in the studio here. So Drew, if you could just kind of get us started, like with your soccer story, man, like who you are, like where you came from.
Well, first of all, I was originally from a small town in Mexico called Obrajuelo, Guanajuato, and sooner or later migrated here. Came like about the age of 6. At 6 and so forth, I've been raised here in this town called Dawn. I could like to call it my home. And since then, I've actually adapted into the community that was already soccer built wise. So then once that started, I started playing as soon as I got here. Within like the next year, kept playing and eventually got to high school and played 2 years there, 2.5 years, and I played and I won 2 state championships. And then further down that road, I kind of eventually dropped out in my senior year, which kind of was a hectic year. But beyond that, I kept the football. The passion was always there, and it saved me once again. I eventually became part of a player at Dawn United, competed at the UPSL level, and then my great 2 friends that owned the club. And thanks to that route, I kind of ran into Coach Saban. He's a top-notch coach. He's the best person I've ever met from firsthand experiences. He's a really great guy, and he gave me a chance to give a change at something. And my freshman year of college, I accidentally won a state national championship.
Accidentally? Let me ask you this: why accidentally?
Because I felt like that team was being built already before I got the chance, and just me stepping into it, becoming not like a extra person or player, but like a hometown player that can like echo the sound of like what they have built in there. It was really crazy to like get the experience firsthand from that.
I want to take it way back to when you got here. Like you're 6 years old, you're going out. Where are you going to play in town? Like what was your first soccer experience here? Like was it at the turf fields? Was it just in the yard? Like were you playing club? Like what did that look like?
When I was here firsthand, there was no clubs ever. That's when I got into high school, a little bit of middle school. I joined club, but the nearest club was down in Chattanooga.
So where were you mostly playing at, like growing up?
I was just playing at the pickup courts in the rec department here in Dawn.
All right,
playing nonstop every night till like the lights would shut off at 11 and we'd be there.
So were you playing in the cages and stuff?
Yes, in the cages.
I mean, that's just another one that grew up playing that cage ball, and you know it's aided you so much. Obviously,
yeah, it improves so much just playing that game here in this local town that's filled with talent nonstop.
You brought up the fact that you consider Dalton a home, and you know you've played at pretty much every single level you can: UPSL, college, high school, street. Yeah. What does it mean to represent Dalton in all those different areas? Talk to me about your connection with Dalton as far as soccer goes.
My connection is like with Dawn is surreal. It's like amazing that I got brought into this small town that's just filled with the thing that I'm the most passionate about. It's football. It's amazing to be from here and to represent it. And I say I'm from here because I was basically born here at a young age, you know. And it's an amazing town. I like the culture it has. And beyond that, there's even a bigger community supporting it. It's just growing every year.
So coming in the way you did, you said like you immigrated here like with your parents and you're like 6 or 7 years old. Do you think that gave you a different perspective on what Dalton was and what it eventually meant to you versus being like, just born here like I was or like Juan or, I mean, not to lessen our experiences, but like, do you think that gave you a unique perspective on things?
Yeah, I think it did really, because now that you say it, like I come to think about it, like I've had to feel myself welcomed into this town as well, because at a young age I knew I wasn't from here. Not even like down the street from here. I was way out of here from. So
you were old enough to remember life back in Mexico, and then
and then come into the whole new different spectrum. And coming in, I felt like I wasn't from here myself. And then just from the soccer, I kept playing, and my name was well known in the town, so I became more like, it felt like home again.
Yeah.
So since then, I've been all Dalton all the way.
And then you alluded to it at the beginning. There was no club here for you to join. It was just pure pickup, pure cage matches, as Todd would say. Since then, Dalton has grown tremendously in the soccer scene. We've become Soccertown USA. From your perspective, as somebody who was there from that early beginning, how would you describe that growth that soccer has had in Dalton over the last few years, from your time as a youth in high school to how it is now?
It's taken such a big leap. It's insane how many clubs there is here at just a local town. And like with well-represented coaches as well, and the talent pool is crazy. There's so many ballers out there. I think that it's kind of growing, and I don't think it's ever gonna drop. It's the thing that's just gonna keep going.
I want to talk about your high school experience a little bit. Like you come into high school, you're already playing at a pretty high level. Talk about like coming in and those 2 state titles that you won. What was that like? Playing under Matt Cheeves and just the vibe back then. Because to like put this in perspective for people, what year is this we're talking? Are we talking like
my
15,
freshman
16?
year it was in 2014.
Okay, so we're talking a decade ago, and you guys have a very unique story, and hopefully we're going to get to all of it. So tell us a little bit about your high school experience and playing under Coach Cheeves.
So my freshman year, I don't know if y'all know, but my brother holds a few records at the high school level.
I see his name every single time on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, as a nice reminder.
Since coming into high school, my pursuit was to go and do even better than what he could. Not as a competition, but as like showing the steeple of our family going,
He set a standard.
Yeah, he set the standard. I wanted to go and break in. That was my ambition since the beginning. And luckily, I made the team that year, and we were so well stacked. We were stacked, and we went on and won that year. And I played like throughout the whole season. I became a starter within like the first few games, but after that, I just never stopped playing there. It was amazing. The experience with those same people that you go and play in the high school level, you can go and meet at the park after your practice, and you play 3-4 more hours. So the chemistry was beyond.
Such a good community feel, and then I can't wait to keep talking more about that. But then also a big chapter, fair to say. You look at the jacket you're wearing, Dalton State Soccer. We'll be talking a lot. We're about to talk a lot about your Dalton State journey and what that was from a player perspective. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and head on to commercials. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Can't wait to hear some more of your words, your wisdom. Churui, Todd, I think you had a very good point to make.
Yeah, Churui, you are a very unorthodox freshman at Dalton State. You're 26 years old, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are a freshman.
Yeah.
So to me, that lends a certain perspective on things that your average 18 or 19-year-old coming out of high school into college, you've been out, you've seen the world, you've done it, and now you're getting this opportunity to walk into this Dalton State team. How do you think that your life experiences from high school to being a freshman at Dalton State, like how does that affect your view of being a freshman versus somebody from high school just walking in? You're both freshmen.
I think it gives me a bigger knack at things in college. Now that I'm way older than most of my teammates, I kind of like see where they're going, see where they're having trouble with it and everything. So I kind of, soccer-wise, it's been like a good thing for me to be coming in a late bloomer. So, but for the life experiences and everything, I think it's beneficial for me that I've seen it, done it all in the sense of like how things get tough and you got to keep going. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like more prepared for this the second time around. And with that, I feel like I can help and express it to my teammates so they don't kind of get through some little bumps that they might not be able to at the moments. But mm-hmm. I've been through there and seen it, so I can kind of help and accommodate to them. And I just first in college, I mean, I just love being a good teammate first and foremost for that reason.
Good. And Todd, one thing we were talking about with Juan and you is this whole mentality of the Dalton player. I think you had a question there.
Yeah, so one of the follow-ups with that would be like, in perspective of like when you played versus now, we see a lot of players come out of the community and we'll see them kind of go off to school, right, to play soccer. And then we see them return in pretty quick succession, you know, and we hear stories about, you know, like they go off their freshman year and they don't get playing time or, you know, problems with school. Is there something of the mentality of the player now, you think, versus when you played, or is it just a learning curve for some of these players that they got to learn to kind of fight through, you know, those tough years where they might be doing something they never did before, sitting the bench?
I think what they do is they like to take that first leap since it's their first time around. They'd like to take that leap and go the furthest point they can, just because
away from home,
mm-hmm. due to like the sport at the college level wasn't respected, I see, as by some players. So then they'd rather take that big step and try to go elsewhere and try to make a name for themselves elsewhere, where it could possibly bigger spectrums for them. But then I believe when they come around, it's not really like a rebound for them, but it's like okay, maybe the problem wasn't going somewhere else. I just got to do it here locally, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't think they ever see it as an opportunity as big as the ones when they look elsewhere.
It just the opportunities also just look bigger. It's not necessarily that it is.
And I know everyone here would want to make a name for themselves and come back to town with that label instead of starting here in town and making it here.
Sure. What would you? Well, let me ask you this: what would you say to the player that, and this could be anybody, that did go off this past year and it didn't go necessarily the way they wanted to, but they still have that passion to play and they still like to play at the college level? What would you say to that guy?
I would welcome him in, because being a local player and playing for your college, like, it gives you an extra edge. When you're playing at home and you get that feeling that, like, all these people are representing my town, that they're not even from here as well. Like, some of those went.
Sure.
But if you're seeing this firsthand and you see your local players, like, that emotional about the football here, it gives you an extra edge.
And speaking on that, you know, when we first interacted, Churrui, it was through the Dalton State college team. And you brought up you started as a freshman in 2014. At that point, Dalton State didn't even have a soccer program
That's
yet.
wild.
And so 10 years later, off a big part of your back, my brother, Dalton State has its first national title and the first SSAC conference title as well at the same time. Yeah. Talk to us about what it was like through that journey from a player perspective. What was it like on your first day of training? And then what was it like when you all were piling on Nico when he saved that penalty? What was that journey like?
Those journeys are all those memories are blessings, and I say it because I don't even know if I should have even been there, but because who would pick up a 25-year-old, you know, freshman? But it's Safe saw some passion and he saw some commitment that I would be ready for. But my first day meeting a bunch of kids that are further than from where I am from, like, it's insane how everyone just can group that quick and make it become home again for them and us, the local players, with them. You know, you interact more with them when you feel more welcomed. Once we like that usually would take a little longer for most teams to adapt, but we jumped that step real quick. We gathered together and created a culture that's already been there, but we just evolved it. After that point on, like, trainings are always fun. It's to win all those silverware, you think like it'd be a crazy, like, immense hard year. And I mean, aside from it being hard a couple times, it was so much fun being in that journey. It's so much fun. like from the trainings to the preseason to the when we're laying down on Nico and celebrating the dub. Like that day itself, we realized like it was all worth it. Like all the extra things, all the extra steps, all the extra hours we spent watching film, it was all worth it. Like it felt amazing to celebrate like that.
Go ahead.
Give me your absolute lowest point of the year, and give me the absolute, and give me the lowest point, and give me the turning point of the year.
Those two I could kind of say are all in one day. The lowest point was when we thought we could win the conference, the smallest thing that we were aiming for, and we didn't accidentally. We tied UT Southern away game, which it's incredible that other team celebrated that tie, but for us it was like the end of our title chasing. So that same day was like the lowest that we've ever been. Everyone knew what like the behind the scenes thing that was going on. And then from that point forward, I think everyone individually and as a unit took over and we're like, we're not letting this happen twice. So we went on, and every game was as important as that game that we tied, just because we remembered how bad it felt to draw when we knew we could win something.
Wow.
And then I guess we have about a minute left, Churri. My question, easy and hard at the same time. What's next for you? What does the next chapter hold for somebody who's already as decorated as you are? What's next?
I want to keep playing till my wheels fall. I want to just keep balling. But
you're back at Dalton State this year.
Back at Dalton State this coming year. We have a fresh new team coming, new coach, new staff, everything, which we're looking forward to. Have the local boys and that stay and the ones that will come to like grow this and set even higher standards. So if we come short of anything, it'd still be up there at the competing for a national level every single season. We want to raise the standards, elevate it, as coach would tell us, and I'm excited. This change was crazy to us, but it's also a good opportunity for everyone.
Troy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for coming on. Wish you all the best in the coming year. You've done more than make this community proud. You've made the community proud. You make from like in the city to the soccer players, everyone, and we look forward to seeing what's next in your career.
I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for this.
All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg from North Georgia Toyota.
We're taking a little break from doing commercials, do a little fishing.
Hey, I'm not fishing, I'm catching.
All right, hang in there, don't let it get away.
Don't let your big deal get away at North Georgia Toyota.
Greg, somebody's gonna say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
And it's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us. Bring it in.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality. And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. I am back. That was a great interview that we had there with
that interview was fire. If you didn't feel his passion for this community and for this sport and what it means to him, like that is another level. Mm-hmm. And that is the passion that I hope every player that comes out of here has. That and it's hard because he has had those life experiences to be able to cultivate this emotion that he has for this community. And, man, sometimes when you're given an opportunity, a second chance, man, you grab onto it, and that's what he's done.
I would say the passion and the humility that he has, too. That's a combination right there.
Can we say that he was literally sweating?
Dude, it's hot in here.
It's hot, the lights, nerves.
Yeah.
He did great.
But, you know, like,
Churri, thank you.
Yes, but thank you very much, Churri. But let's pivot really quick, and let's just – we're going to let's go to stay away from the high school soccer because, real quick, we're going to discuss that.
We're getting there. Stay with us, fam.
But big matchup last week. It was your Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Yes.
Oh, they're yours now. Is that
for this segment, they'll be my Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Your
two Dalton players.
Chattanooga FC. And, this had everything that had been built up for years and years coming. There was a lot of build-up for this game. It was a battle of Chattanooga. Great home crowd. It was the best match in U.S. Open soccer for that day. I was listening listening to it on the way back in from New York City, and I was watching it on the YouTube, and the commentators were just like, with the amount of passion going on, and they kept referencing, this needs to be happening.
Well, if you were watching online, if you watched the little thing, it averaged about 3,000 online viewers from across the country. So to put in perspective for some of you guys that don't follow and aren't as nerdy about lower league soccer as I am, Red Wolves came in at 2019, and really there was an instant rivalry with Chattanooga FC, and I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds about this, but this is a game that a lot of people have wanted for about 6 years, and some people, to be fair, never wanted it. But it happened anyway, and the only way it was going to happen is through U.S. Open Cup, and they could have played each other before, but they either one team won and the other team didn't. Well, it finally happened. And so what better place for it to happen than at Max Finley Stadium? They packed 12,000 in there. It was, and that home side, did you guys see it from the visitor side
I didn't
at all?
see it from the visitor side, but I was able to get like a whole panorama behind me. It was incredible.
It was incredible. So,
so the live feed was from the visitor side looking on.
So that must have looked amazing.
So it did show.
And the weather was threatening, but thankfully it never rained.
Yeah, it never happened. That's how you know it was a CFC game. There was weather.
But what made this game even better from my perspective was, we had a local Dalton, Georgia player, Omar Hernandez playing, who's a former CFC Academy player, went off, played at Wake Forest, and then down to Mercer, came back, got his chance with the USL 1 team, Chattanooga Red Wolves, and scores a banger.
What a moment.
This game. To go up 1-0, but then CFC comes right back up with their spectacular free kick and knocks it up 1-1.
And then boom.
Just, Todd, I mean, you had, for Omar being the local player, it had to tug at your strings a little bit.
No, absolutely. And I can tie this in. A lot of you guys don't know, but and we are going to have Omar on the show. It looks like that's going to happen next week. We're lining that up. So for those of you who don't know, Omar was a Chattanooga FC Academy player, and before he went off to Wake and all that stuff. And he's a hometown kid. He's two-time national Georgia Player of the Year, Gatorade National Player of the Year, goes off to Wake Forest, plays at Mercer. I mean, and just an absolute character guy. I've talked about this before. And so, even though I wanted the Red Wolves to lose so badly in that moment and looking back, I'm so happy for Omar. I'm so happy for what it meant. And I can't wait to get him on here and ask him about what that moment meant, specifically to be at a club that you played in their academy, to come back to that field and play for the team that is their nemesis and to score that goal. Like it's got to be.
It must have been a mix of emotions too.
Not for him. It had to be pure joy. I mean, because it was in front of 12,000 people. You score that goal. Come on.
And me I'm just sitting here on the sidelines, but for you guys, so where with this matchup finally happening after 6+ years of both teams being in the same city, do you see this possibly coming a regular occurrence, or is you just see that if we meet in the U.S. Open Cup, it's going to happen? If not, we're not.
I hope it doesn't become a regular occurrence. I want it to happen in the U.S. Open Cup. I think if we were to schedule it, say once a year, the Red Wolves versus Chattanooga FC, it would lose some of that story.
So I don't know if it will or if it won't, but my guess is that it will not. Just because the owners are, I don't think they will allow it to be a yearly thing. So the fans that like this, it will. And this is a bigger problem of U.S. soccer in general. And once again, that's in the weeds too. But my guess is this is going to stay as a U.S. Open Cup game.
And really quick, Todd, I'm going to pivot over to you on this. Because CFC, for the longest, they've held their chest up high and puffed it out because, we're independent, we're locally and all this. But don't you feel like they maybe sold out a little because they advanced? Now they're MLS Next Pro, and now they're under that whole MLS. That sort of moves them away from, what they started out as? Or did they have to make that move just to stay relevant within the soccer game that's within the –
So what I would say is neither of those. They wanted to be in a league that was stable. They could not go to USL because the Red Wolves owned the – territory rights.
Which is wild that
you
can do that.
So exactly, and that's one of the things that
it's like that.
Change.
No, it's not MLS. Sorry,
but it's in MLS too. Like if there was another team in Atlanta would have to agree to give up their territorial rights. So it's the same thing. So they went to a league that they knew was stable. They came from NISA, an unstable league, and they maintained all their rights as an independent club, and they do their own thing, and they're not anybody's feeder team. So they were allowed to maintain their identity and play in a stable league. So
and they came out and beat Orlando B team over the weekend. So. I mean,
and let's not forget, Chattanooga FC has had their fair share of Dalton players over the years.
Oh, yes.
Many. Right now, Dalton State players up there. Michael Beretta is
which I'm
currently
mad he
on
didn't
the
get to play in the penalty shootout.
When you gotta knock out a former EPL keeper, that's a tough thing to do.
Well, is that we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we're going to come back. We're getting into some of that high school ball. We're going to talk a little bit of Coahulla Creek from the previous week.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Discover what a strong, locally owned community bank can do for you.
I'm Tyler Hudson of Shankley Training in Dalton, Georgia. We train a huge number of the region's aspiring soccer players. I moved my business and personal banking to Builtwell 2 years ago. It's important for me to work with a community bank where I know them and they know me. Because they make things easy for me, my bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Now, after 2 weeks gone, we can start talking about high school soccer.
It's hard to even think about what happened 2 weeks ago. Like, we are such a in the moment society. It's like, well, what happened 2 weeks ago?
Is that relevant now?
Most of the time, it's not. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment.
Well, I mean, if we want to look at what we had 2 weeks ago, we had a lot going on. I mean, we had some big matchups. I'm looking at the schedule from 2 weeks ago. We had Southeast needing comeback
got
wins.
it done.
So Southeast had to beat Woodland, and then they had to beat Cedartown. Boys, they did that in convincing fashion.
Yep.
Cedartown came in thinking, flapping their chest when they were playing Dalton, and then
they've been humbled since.
Yeah. But they went on a 3-game losing streak to put them out of the playoffs. You had,
I'm not going to gloat on that. Okay, like they were in the position they were in because they won the games in front of them convincingly, and people are going to rank teams where they're going to rank teams. Okay, so I'm not going to crush on them, berate them too much about that.
So we had that. You had Dalton Academy. You had, Dalton versus Coahulla Creek, which we're going to touch more about there. You had the Southeast. So you had,
it was a busy week.
You had, really the biggest thing that stood out for me, and we're going to talk about Creek, but the biggest thing that stood out for me was that the pressure of the Southeast boys having to win, and it was a must-win situation for them from the Woodland game going into the Cedartown game. Woodland game, they underperformed, from what I heard from some people. Even though they won 3-0, and then they come out and win 6-2. I think it was for Cedartown.
Yeah, they throttled them, and that's exactly what they needed to do. And while I was over at the North Murray Coahulla Creek game, I ran into one of their forwards. I believe his name is Isaac, I think is his name, one of the forwards.
Isaac Azua?
Yeah, Isaac.
He's currently injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what you're doing over at North Murray. I mean, I know.
He might have some business over there.
I mean, I know what you was doing.
Dang,
but anyway, he said they had a lot of confidence, not overly confident, but felt like they could handle business, and congrats to them. They did.
How can you not? When you win the must-win games, that does something to you. We can do it.
So let's go on let's talk about Coahulla Creek and North Murray. That was a region game that went down, and I had that marked as maybe a region decider. Turns out that it wasn't. Juan, this is his first time doing the show, so he forgot to turn his ringer off.
It was Coach Almodovar calling.
What are the chances?
Now he name drops.
Sorry, y'all.
So basically, he messes up and then name drops to cover up. Nice work.
It's Coach Almodovar, and I will answer it on commercial break because I need to get a correct pronunciation on a name.
I remember what it was.
Yes.
So going into this, Coahulla Creek girls 2, North Murray 0. Honestly, it was a pretty scrappy game. I showed up at halftime and I was expecting that score line to be 3 or 4 Coahulla Creek at halftime. Got there, it's zeros, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, it turns out North Murray has started figuring some things out, including formation and some questions that they had over the years. So it ended up being a 2-0 win. And, congrats to Coahulla Creek, but they really had to figure that one out.
And that was on the girls or
that was on the girls' side.
Okay. What about the boys?
The boys, a different story. Before we get to the boys, I want to tell you, I got an interview with Christina Torres with Coahulla Creek. She was probably the player of the game for them. So let's go to that interview. Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I'm joined with Christina Torres from Coahulla Creek. She plays right back. You guys just had I don't want to say it's a hard-fought 2-0, I believe it's 2-0, right? 2-0. 2-0 scoreline. Tell me a little bit about the game tonight and how it was for you at right back.
So as a right back, I feel like most of the defense was pressuring pretty good. Our strikers, it was kind of hard for them to finish, but I think we all worked as a team. And I believe we could have done better. It wasn't the score we expected tonight. And we just hope throughout the rest of the season we're able to make it through region and for our scores to get better and work together as a team.
And you guys, at halftime, it was 0-0. Did Coach Griffith and Coach Coley, did they have some words for you guys at halftime?
Oh, yeah, they did. They did. Halftime was 0-0, which was a tough game. As I said, we didn't expect it to be this hard for us to, score in their goal. But they did have some word for us. Our team really wasn't playing how we're supposed to. We didn't try our best. We didn't give it our all.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Christina Torres for taking a minute with me. I told you it wouldn't be that painful to do the interview. But congrats to them. And also, I also caught up with the North Murray coach, Coach Tuttle. That was our first interaction, and she's really been working with that squad over there and sorting some things out. So
was she excited to be on the show?
Oh, dude, she'd been waiting all year for that moment.
Wow.
Actually, I think she said, "Who are you again?
What are you with? What show?
Why are we doing this? This is going to be on what channel?
Monday Night Soccer?
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to that interview with Coach Tuttle. Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I'm joined by Coach Tuttle, girls coach at North Murray. Coach, it's your first year at North Murray. Just if you can, bring us where you came from back in the early spring and moving forward in the season.
Yeah, we started. I was just kind of trying to figure out really what everybody could do, how they played together, how they communicated, where all of our little pieces fit. And I feel like I kept trying random little things at the beginning, and I was like, hey, maybe you should try this position. Hey, maybe you should try this position. It's kind of culminated into this. We've kind of figured out some spots where people had never played that they play really, really good at, and we're starting to find kind of our rhythm.
Who are some of the leaders that have stepped up for you as the season's moved on?
Aubrey Blackburn, for sure. She is one of those where we tell her what to do, she's going to do it. She might not have a smile on her face, but she's going to do it to the best of her ability. We have actually been rotating our seniors as captains, and that's worked really well for us because it's like a fresh set of voices for every game, which has been really nice. And then we've had
So tell me a little bit about where you look to go from here this season, areas you still want to improve on before the end of the year.
I still very much want to improve on being able to get good through balls. Because we have the good thought, we have the good idea, we have the right ideas, we know what we want to do, we can just never hit the right spot. And so even getting us to the point of hey, let's make these looks. That's where we started. It was hey, we've got to be able to see open space. We've got to be able to see movement. We've got to be able to see where we can send this ball. We got that part down. We're looking at those things. Now the execution part needs to kind of fall into play. And I think once we can get that going, I think we'll be in a really good spot.
Well, thank you for taking a few minutes with us. I appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
big thank you to Coach Tuttle for taking some time with me. And, she's working with that program over there, starting to get things figured out. So wish them the best of luck rest of the
She
season.
had to replace Spider,
Hey. Yeah,
if you know, you know.
If you know,
right?
you know.
I do not.
So let's talk a little Creek boys. North Murray. I always knew that was going to be a scrap. You just look at the two teams. You look at like how they're built, and you knew it was going to be a scrap.
Well, you got to think about Kahala Creek was coming off being beaten previously by Murray County.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably didn't want to get beat by another team from Murray County.
Well, and it also put them in a strange position too. Like for the region, that became an absolute must-win because you got Ringgold that had been handling their business all season, except for the one loss against Creek. So they had to handle business. They did. They went out 2-1 winners over North Murray. It was a game the whole time. I would say that there might have been a call or two that I felt may have went Creek's way, but you got to have those kind of calls. North Murray, I mean, I'm always impressed with them over there. They're coached well. The kids, they're so emotional and passionate. The fan base is, and they're young this year, and they're missing some key players due to like season-ending injuries. So it's been a little bit of uphill, but there they were with everything to play for against Color Creek. Just come up a little short. Omar Mendiola. First time I've gotten him on camera. He's a senior this year. Took me all 4 years to finally get him on camera. This guy had the audacity to be standing there with his shirt off like I was going to let him interview like that.
Wow.
You think I'm going to let you body shame me like in front of everybody? No, sir. You put that shirt back on. All right, let's go to that Omar Mendiola interview. Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I have caught up with Omar Mendiola for Color Creek. You guys just had a tough 2-1 win. Tell me a little bit about the game tonight.
I mean, yeah, the game was pretty tough. We had to start with one less player because he had a red card, and it's gonna be tough because he's gonna be out for 2 games. So I mean, I couldn't really play much up top because I had to help the defense, recover his spot, But
well, you guys have been without Cruz now for a while, and he just came back. How's it been adjusting where he wasn't on the field and now he's back? Has it been easy to pick him up on the field, or is it taking some adjustment?
Well, like towards the beginning, it did take like some adjustment because we weren't used to him. Well, we were used to him, but like we started off the season without him, so and he's a really good player. So we're just glad he's back, and he says he's playing at his 100%, so that's good. And yeah.
And you've been asked to take on a lot more responsibility than normal this year. And what's that been like wearing the captain's armband? Because it's a big deal.
Yeah,
you got to wrangle all these yahoos out on the field.
I mean, the thing I hate the most is when they don't drop or they don't really listen to me, so I have to yell really loud.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, it's I'm just trying to have fun. It's my senior year, so.
Well, enjoy the rest of your senior year and go enjoy this win. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, big thanks to Omar for putting your shirt on to do that interview. I didn't need that shame. We didn't need that. So he's been a real cog in the wheel for them this year, stepping up in Cruz's absence, and he talked a little bit about that. You know what it's like to be missing a player, and then all of a sudden they come back. It's kind of like it's different. It's different, the kind of vibe to try to play off those players.
So, and really quick, I mean, while we're on the whole Kahala Creek narrative,
okay, we're on.
I don't think that boys' game's going to get played. So, what's going to happen with the Soccer City Cup standings?
I know you've talked a lot about that.
So my plan is we'll do an average of points per game, and
seems fair to me.
It still should work out because you'll just average it out on whether you got 3, 2, or 1. You'll just divide it out by the number of games you played. So
I think it's the fairest way. I don't think there would be a discrepancy.
Don't worry, we'll just get it played next year.
All right. Well, with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit of Dalton girls and boys.
I'm Dr. Michelle Little.
And I'm Dr. Kayla Gibo with Foundation Direct Family Care. We wanted to start a membership-based primary care practice.
But we're doctors, not business people.
I'm Kylie Roy with Biltwell Bank. I listen to their pitch and help them scale from startup to owning their own building.
Biltwell sees the value of small businesses in the community and supports their ingenuity.
Because every business owner doesn't have an MBA, our bank is Biltwell.
Member FDIC.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football. And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
that's our part.
Right here with a defensive masterclass of Yuritsi Peña Rendon. Yuritsi, another great game today versus Cass, 10-1 with somewhat of a rarity, a goal from you from the penalty spot. Tell me what went in your mind when you walked up to take that penalty.
I've been wanting to get as many goals as possible this season. You know, we have to get some highlights, got to get some footage, but especially when we're already having a lead by 4-0, 5-0, I'm just trying to clear my head, keep my mind clear, and just enjoy the game, you know, take it lighthearted and have passion for what you do.
Absolutely, that definitely showed. So you play primarily in the defensive role, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about how it's like being responsible for making sure that the team doesn't score rather than your team scoring.
Okay. For me personally, I love playing center back. It's so difficult to destroy when people are creating such great plays, and like playing last man, it's a big pressure. It is a big pressure. I will say that. You are in charge of your team. You have the best view out of the entire field. And there, you know, it's our job to guide our players and to be that voice for our players. And I will just say that the biggest thing is that you have to stay calm. You have to be very, very calm under pressure.
Oh, very good. It's all about mentality. Let me ask you about an upcoming game, the Soccer City Cup game against Cahola Creek that's coming up. How do you feel about that game coming up against a local rival?
I am very excited. There's been some rumors that they're coming out to get us, but we'll have to see.
There you go. Any last words, Yuritsi, before we let you go?
Okay, I would just like to say that Jesus loves you, Jesus loves me, Jesus loves all of us, and just remember to pray, guys.
Heck of a message to leave with. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Yuritsi, for those words taken right after the Cavs game.
How was the name again?
Yuritsi.
And how did he say it in the interview?
I said it right, Yuritsi.
Okay, so I do want to apologize. She found me, Yuritsi found me at the taco stand over there in front of George Tacos, and she said, sir, my name is Yuritsi.
Oh.
Piña.
Hey, she hasn't corrected me. Yuritsi, please correct me if I'm saying it wrong.
I did, so I had to confirm with Coach A, to make sure I was saying it right. So if I said it wrong, I apologize, but hopefully I said it right.
We're trying our best. We're trying our best.
Now, so.
But that interview did set us up for what would happen Friday night.
Yes.
Cahola Creek girls coming for Soccer City Cup, visiting Harmon Field on let's just call it what it was. It was a mercy rule, 11-1.
Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I am joined by Coach Almondova, who his Lady Cats just ran out big winners, 11-1 over Cahola Creek in y'all's first game for Soccer City Cup. Coach, when you have a mercy rule situation like this, what are your takeaways from this? What do you try to get out of it?
Well, first I'll look at how is the team responding. Sometimes when you get this close to spring break, players' minds are already on spring break, and so when you have that kind of concentration on the field, it makes you feel good heading into the break, because right now we're all struggling with the injury bugs and just kind of getting healthy. But that's the first thing, is just how focused they are on the field and the work ethic they have on the field, because like I said, these kind of games can be trap games.
And you get your first points on the board for Soccer City Cup. Does it feel good to kind of get involved in the competition after sitting idle for this long?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've been through hard region matches throughout the month of March, so getting back to the Cup is always great. We look forward to making some headway in that direction, hopefully by the end of the season.
All right. Well, good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Thank you.
And what's the Soccer City standings looking like now?
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll throw up the Soccer City standings as we speak. As you can see, it's not a lot has changed. You got Dalton getting on the board, 3 points. They're in first place because of goal differential, mostly by this game. So when I tell people like, hey, goal differential matters. You go down, it's not time to give up, because there's things in this turn, and specifically the Soccer City Cup, that matters, namely goal differential. So right now, Dalton is way ahead in Soccer City Cup because of goal differential.
But they still have 2 more games in hand to play, Northwest, and then obviously El Clásico at the end of the season.
Oh, that's going to be so fun.
And then then later the nightcap at Harmon, Baylor versus Dalton.
Which Dalton went out on a 2-0 lead, and then
then
Baylor called back. And
did. Now, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't say Dalton was missing like one player of significance. Chappies did not play, had a little injury, should be mending up just fine. But Dalton was handling business. They were handling business in that game, and they were up 2-0. So I know Coach Cheeves is not going to be happy about giving up a 2-0 lead no matter who's on the field. So we can talk about that.
I mean,
let's do it. We got a minute. Let's do it. We got a minute.
We got a minute left.
I say, you're never going to like to give up a lead like that. Now, having said that, kudos to the Baylor team. They came back, kept fighting, got a little gratuitous, got a deflection on a free kick, got what looked like an own goal flipped over, and Christian Sanchez just couldn't keep it out. But, man, coming up big in the penalty PKs.
I saw the video you posted.
It just felt live.
So good. Oh, it was so good. And he got his hand to, I think, the third one, and it went off his hand. It looked like it went also off his foot and still somehow trickled in. And then he put a stop to that fourth one, and all Dalton had to do was put in the fifth. And, man, you could tell because there was such drama that played out in that game, and there was so much talking between the bench on the Baylor side and the stands. It kicked off at the end of the game.
Well, with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we come back. We will talk about the games that we have this coming up.
And we're going to have that Christian Sanchez interview as we go to break.
Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I'm joined by Dalton High goalkeeper Christian Sanchez. Christian, you and the boys just knocked off Baylor. It was tied 2-2. You guys go to penalty kicks. Yes, game got heated. So, what's going on in the second half? What's going through your head? How are you keeping the boys calm?
I'm just taking them away from the other players. We got to keep our head because nobody has won yet. We were tied, and we knew the game was important. So I just had to pull my players back, push them away, keep it calm.
And you're going into PKs, they hit the first one, but you step up big on the second one. You got a piece of it,
yes, sir.
And then you turn around and see it go in the goal. Were you confident once you got a piece of the first one that you could get another one? Or
I go up to PKs confident all the time, whether I save them or not. I train them at practice, mostly every practice, so I'm confident when I go up to PKs.
And then you stop that last one. What's the emotion like when you get that last one?
I had all the support from the fans. I thank them, all the Dalton community, for coming out here and supporting us. It's a crazy game. We had to do it.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy the win and your spring break.
Thank you.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football, and now it's time to go ahead and talk about the action that we have, Todd.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Hey, Christian Sanchez, I hope that promposal, I hope it went well.
Oh, that's cute. That's adorable.
All right, so let's get ready to go with OptiLink schedule for this upcoming week.
Absolutely. Starting today, Monday, we got the Dalton Academy at Tryon, the girls, and then Coahulla Creek versus Fort Payne, the girls as well. And then we close off today at 7 o'clock with Christian Heritage boys versus what on earth is CSTHEA? Whatever school.
Too many letters.
Way too many letters. And then we continue on with Tuesday. We got Murray County at Ridgeland for the girls. We got the Dalton Academy versus Tryon girls as well. I'm not sure if
maybe a typo on my part.
There.
Yeah.
But we're going to continue with what's not a typo, and that's Dalton at Northwest for the girls. Big game there. We continue on North Murray at Pickens for the girls, and then Southeast versus Cherokee for the girls. We continue on North Murray at Pickens for the boys. Murray County at Ridgeland for the boys. Dalton Academy versus Tryon for the boys. Dalton at Northwest for the boys, and then we close off that night with Southeast versus Cherokee boys. And then what do we got for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week, we have Wednesday, we have Dalton Academy versus Pepperell boys. On Thursday, we have Dalton versus Heritage girls, Northwest at River Ridge for the girls, Dalton versus Heritage on the boys' side. Then we have Northwest versus River Ridge as well for the boys. And then on Friday, we have Christian Heritage versus Fannin County. Girls, Dalton versus Murray County. Girls, Southeast versus Dalton Academy. That's on the boys' side. Big matchup there. Christian Heritage at Fannin County. And then on Saturday, we have Southeast heading down to Stars Mill on the girls' side. So we got some games coming up. It's the last few weeks of the season. So
most notably, Soccer City Cup Tuesday night, Northwest, Dalton.
What a show that's going to be.
Getting it done on the girls
Georgia
and the
Taco's
boys'
there
side.
or no?
I'm not sure. Hey, is this game, which where is it at, Juan? Do you know?
It's,
Northwest.
at Northwest.
Oh, so maybe Tacos El Cunao.
Ooh, there. Fun fact. Last year, really quick, for the Southeast versus Dalton Academy boys, they actually asked me to be the stadium announcer, but unfortunately, I got kicked out after a minute or so.
I got kicked out.
Legitimately, I got kicked out because apparently I didn't know you couldn't be very entertaining and fun on those commentary. So when I saw that, I was
so. Let's go to the games real quick. Who you got? Northwest girls, Dalton girls.
Dalton girls.
Dalton girls.
Dalton girls.
I'm gonna make it 3. I'm gonna make it 3. I think Dalton girls have the edge here. We'll see if Northwest can. If
Dalton boys' game will be tight. First half, and then I think second half they depth will just.
Bold prediction: it goes to penalties.
Oof. They can't because
they can't.
They can't.
Bold prediction: it's a draw, and then we have a last-minute winner.
Maybe
you heard it. And then really quick before we go off air, Southeast versus Dalton Academy boys at Southeast. I think Southeast should
handle it,
especially with everything that's been going on.
The way they got things rolling now, they've got some momentum. I look for them to take care of business.
But with that, thank you for watching this episode, and hopefully we'll see you all next week.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality. And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
Discover what a strong, locally owned community bank can do for you.
I'm Tyler Hudson of Shankley Training in Dalton, Georgia. We train a huge number of the region's aspiring soccer players. I moved my business and personal banking to Builtwell 2 years ago. It's important for me to work with a community bank where I know them and they know me. Because they make things easy for me, my bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg from North Georgia Toyota.
We're taking a little break from doing commercials, do a little fishing.
Hey, I'm not fishing, I'm catching.
All right, hang in there, don't let it get away.
Don't let your big deal get away at North Georgia Toyota.
Greg, somebody's gonna say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
That's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us. Bring it in.
To advertise your business on TV, contact Elliott Media at 706-529-4237.